Hi. So now we'll be moving to the last part of portfolio management, that is fintech in investment management. It's one such topic that is recently introduced, but it holds much more importance for the future, right? So we'll try to dig deeper into what is big data, what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, and we'll do that in a manner that is very lucid, right? First up, let's try to understand what is fintech. Fintech, as the name suggests, is a collaboration of finance plus technology, which in fact in totality means development. Development in terms of what? In terms of analyzing large data sets, reducing intermediaries, as well as automating the advice processes or execution of let's say trades, right? So all these can form fintech, right? Wherein processes were used to be a lot longer, they used to have a lot of intermediaries, and they couldn't process a lot of large data sets, which is now possible, and going forward it will become only simpler. So that's fintech for you. Let's try to understand what is big data. Big data, as the name suggests, is collaboration of a lot of data which can be utilized to form meaningful information, right? So let's try to understand big data, which is all potentially useful information from not only the traditional sources, which are financial markets. We get data from public, we get data from private sources, we get data from financial markets, from companies. All those are traditional forms of information that anyway can be collected and operated by anyone. But to use alternative sources, which are understanding social media posts, understanding online reviews, understanding what is being written in private forms, and analyzing those information in order to take a meaningful decision, is what big data can give you, right? So big data means using all the potential information from not only traditional sources but also from alternative sources. So what are the characteristics of big data? There are three V's to it. One is volume, second is velocity, and the third one is variety. Volume, we are in a world where people have moved from MBs to GBs to TBs to petabytes, right? PBs. So volume of data is only increasing, and in order to have all that data into meaningful manner is what we mean by big data. Then there's velocity, the speed at which data is being transferred. That has moved from Mbps to Gbps now, right? It used to be Kbps in the 2000s. So velocity basically means ability to transfer information at a speed which inherently has no latency. And the third one is variety. So like we discussed in the introduction, that big data should have not only traditional information but also information from alternative sources, which is what characteristics of variety mean. That it should not only have spreadsheets, but it can also be photos, it can also be reviews, it can also be tweets, right? So all that form the characteristic of big data. Now coming to data science. So data science is a part of big data. Data science means what? Data science basically means processing and visualizing the big data that we have. So data science is method of processing and visualizing data. What do I mean by processing? Processing big data means capturing data, then curating the data in terms of good and bad information, so bad information goes out, storing the data. So all the information cannot be processed in a day's time. It should be stored at a place which will be carried forward to tomorrow and for the ages to come. And the fourth part is search. For all the information that you have, you need to have only one big decision being taken out of it, right? Or multiple decisions. For all that, you need to have a search function that tells you this information is relevant for this particular decision. And the last part is transfer. What if you want to transfer information, data to various places? It should be available through data science. So those are the processing methods that are there in data science. Now coming to visualizing data, like I told you, visualizing the data can come from various graphs, spreadsheets, photos. We need to have a medium or method wherein I can visualize the data and take a decision out of it. So that is called visualizing the data point. The last part of big data is the challenges that we face in while computing the big data and analyzing it. The challenges are quality. So if you put in information that is not relevant, you will get an output which is not relevant, right? Garbage in, garbage out. But in order to get quality information out of it, you need to put in quality information into the system. So quality of data matters a lot. So you need to have quality sources of information. Second is possibility of outliers. So there are two things. What if the inputs that you have got are all outliers and you cannot really take a generic decision out of it? That is one. Or what if you have taken only the generic inputs, you have got a generic output? What if there are outliers such as COVID or global financial crisis? So all that needs to be taken into effect. The third part is missing data or sufficiency. So big data essentially means all the potential information combined. What if there are some information that are missing? What if the sufficiency of data is not in place? You need to make sure that all the sources of data are being taken into account. The fourth part is sampling data biases. So there are various biases that are associated with sampling which needs to be eradicated before taking it into effect for the big data. And the last part is appropriateness of the intended use. What if I want to take a decision that is completely irrelevant as compared to the information that I have got? Then I cannot really use that data. So what I need to be mindful of is the information, the input that I am getting should be commensurating to the output that I am looking for. Appropriate hona chahiye hamara information. Right? So these are the challenges that we face when we are talking about big data. The quality, the possibility of outliers, what if the data points are not sufficient, what if there are sampling biases, and what if the appropriateness of the inputs are not commensurating to the intended use. So if these challenges are being taken care, big data is of greater relevance and it's getting prominence day in, day out. Thank you.